This is Frank Lloyd Wright's office in Arizona. It's at Taliesin West, which is the home he designed in Scottsdale, Arizona. That was Frank Lloyd Wright's desk, made super large so that he could display full drawings and people could view it from up above. Obviously, it's super hot in Arizona, so all of the design keeps that in mind. Very airy, spacious, and a lot of diffused light action going on to make sure that you're not just getting burned up sitting there while you're working. Worth noting all the beautiful trees and windows throughout the entire office. All right, now let's move on to the next part of the home. Walking out here, this is the courtyard right outside of the office. Little panoramic view for you. Mountains in the background. It was about 80 degrees, hot, sunny on the day that I visited. That is the outside of the office, and then another building that we'll get to in just a minute. I also wanted to highlight just all the awesome giant cactuses on the property. I'm sure it was the same when he was there as well. When he was building it too, there was literally nothing within miles. It was just straight up desert. And he picked this location though because the view is actually for the most part the same. We'll get to the view in a second. That's the outside of one of his studios where he would design some of the architectures, including the Guggenheim. Guggenheim was designed right in that building on the left there. He designed tons of colleges, tons of facilities, and a lot of them were done right from that studio on the left there. In all of his years designing, he was able to come up with over 1,100 structures, and 550 of which were completed and still stand today. Many credit Wright with the idea of an open floor plan. And this is the view, by the way. Insane. As you can see, there's really no structures anywhere nearby because he bought hundreds of acres to build Taliesin West. Personally, the guy had a pretty wild personal life. He was married and divorced 3 times, had affairs. It was all over the place. But architecturally, spectacular. As you can even see with some of the stuff in this video and Taliesin West, he loved Japanese architecture. There's definitely a lot of inspiration you can see. Also, one of the things I love about Frank Lloyd Wright is he didn't have an architectural degree. Did have some awesome cactuses on the property, though, as I show throughout this video. I mean, that cactus is like 20 feet tall. It's insane. But yes, he didn't have an architectural degree, and most of the greats don't need degrees. They just go out, figure it out, and do it. And once you do it well, once other people start to trust you, and you get to do more awesome structures and buildings like this. This is a cool one. So now we're heading into sort of like the garden area. This is the walkway inside. There I am. All very open, lots of light, and here we are walking inside now. The next view you see will be from sitting down inside of what they call, I guess, the garden room. So much light, 2 levels of windows. I mean, this is what you want your living room to look like. He didn't just design houses. He also designed furniture and had tons of art. This is a piece that he had in one of the rooms of that house. Also, this is kind of crazy. Every single car he owned would match the house that he was driving it from. Here's a fun story I liked. In 1956, a 12-year-old boy reached out to Frank Lloyd Wright and asked for a custom-designed doghouse. It is the smallest structure that Frank Lloyd Wright has ever done, and he sent the blueprints back to the 12-year-old for free. The houses, though, although they may look awesome and they may look perfect, they're not. A lot of his houses were actually extremely leaky and would flood, water would get in, and there was no stopping it. This is one of my favorite rooms at Taliesin West. This is a projector room where he would play things for students, for people who are visiting, and there were also lights all throughout the room in odd places, like lights in the ground. I don't think I've ever seen that before. That's where he would project things to, and people would sit all over. And conference room in the middle, that's where the projectors would be at the top. This is sort of like a wind tunnel in the middle of one of the buildings. And next to the dining room as well. Really nice view. And because of the way it was designed, wind would blow through and back. This is the walkway back towards his office. The creativity and ability to invent ran in the family. His son, John Lloyd Wright, created Lincoln Logs, the famous toy brand and set. Frank Lloyd Wright also famously ignored almost all zoning laws and codes and registrations, all that sort of stuff. So he had over 20 arrest warrants out for him at just about any given time. This was the art studio that he designed almost everything. This is where he designed the Guggenheim, the famous New York art museum in Manhattan. And this was the exact vibe and setup. This was the reason it's vertical. This is a short form video that'll go up on the channel as a short form in a couple days. And it is of the place he designed Guggenheim. Really cool. So actually, out of the 500 plus buildings that were built, that were designed by Wright, over 400 of them still stand, and 8 of them are, worldwide acknowledged as, iconic locations such as Falling Water and Taliesin West. If you enjoyed this kind of video, let me know.